September 12, 1983, a date that would vanish into history, only to reappear as the day of the second-largest cash robbery on American soil. We aren't talking about a casino floor in Vegas or a high-rise in Manhattan. This story unfolds in the quiet, industrial corners of West Hartford, Connecticut. Inside a Wells Fargo armored depot, $7 million in cash sat waiting. In today's money, that's over $22 million. Security was tight. Procedures were strict. But no lock in the world can stop the threat that comes from the inside. Enter Victor Gerena, 25 years old, a Wells Fargo guard, trusted, quiet, and secretly a man with a plan. To his coworkers, Victor was just another guy in a uniform. But beneath the surface, he had been recruited by a group with motives far beyond simple greed. The night of the heist didn't start with guns blazing. It started with a routine. The dull hum of the depot. The smell of exhaust and old money. Gerena was working with two colleagues that night, James McKeon and Timothy Gerard. They had no idea their shift was about to end in a nightmare. As the shift wound down, Gerena made his move. He didn't reach for a rifle immediately. He unholstered his sidearm and changed the dynamic in a split second. He held his coworkers at gunpoint, but he didn't want to kill them. He had a different tool for incapacitation, a syringe. Gerena had brought a substance to knock them out. He injected both men, intending to leave them asleep while he cleared the vault. It wasn't smooth. The drugs didn't work instantly. He had to bind them, tie them up, and ensure they couldn't trigger the alarm. With the guards neutralized, Gerena was alone. Just him and a mountain of currency. This is where the sheer logistics of the heist kick in. $7 million in small bills isn't just a number on a screen. It weighs hundreds of pounds. It takes up physical space. Gerena spent time loading the car. Not the armored truck, but a rented 1973 Buick LeSabre he had parked right inside the bay. He stuffed the trunk, then the back seat, then the passenger seat. The car was riding low, heavy with stolen fortune. Then he simply drove away. No high-speed chase. No sirens. He rolled out of the depot and into the dark Connecticut night. When the other guards finally woke up and managed to free themselves, Gerena had a massive head start. The FBI was called and the manhunt began. But where did he go? A man with $7 million doesn't just blend in. Or so they thought. This wasn't a solo act. As investigators dug deeper, they found connections to a radical Puerto Rican separatist group, Los Macheteros. The robbery wasn't for luxury cars or mansions. It was a political act. The money was intended to fund a revolution. The car was eventually found abandoned at a motel. The money? Gone. Gerena vanished. Reports suggested Gerena was smuggled across the border to Mexico and eventually to Cuba. In Cuba, it is believed he lived under the protection of the Castro regime. A fugitive hero to some, a terrorist thief to others. Over the years, the FBI placed Victor Gerena on the 10 most wanted list. The reward for his capture went up to $1 million. While many of his accomplices from Los Macheteros were eventually caught and prosecuted, Gerena remained a ghost. The 1983 Wells Fargo heist remains one of the most successful cash robberies in history. Not because of the violence, but because of the getaway. Most bank robbers are caught within days. They spend the money, they make mistakes. Gerena did neither. Some rumors say he's still in Cuba today, an old man watching the waves. Others say he passed away years ago. The money was never recovered. That $7 million fueled a movement, bought silence, or simply disappeared into the economy. For the FBI, the case remains open. A cold file that never quite froze over. A reminder of the one that got away. It's a story that feels like Hollywood fiction, the sleeping guards, the needle, the rented Buick, the escape to Havana. But it was real. And in the annals of American crime, The 1983 Wells Fargo heist stands as a masterclass in disappearance. Was he a mastermind? Or just a pawn in a larger political game who played his part perfectly? We may never know the full truth of Victor Gerena's life after that night. The man ceased to exist, and the legend began. In the end, $7 million bought him a life in exile. A golden cage, perhaps, but a cage nonetheless. As we look back at 1983, the neon lights of the era fade, but this mystery burns bright. If you think you know where the money went, you're probably wrong. The trail went cold decades ago. West Hartford, Connecticut, an unlikely stage for an international thriller. But history rarely chooses the expected places. The Wells Fargo depot is long gone or changed hands. The Buick LeSabre is scrap metal. But the name Gerena persists. It serves as a reminder that sometimes the bad guys do get away. And they take a piece of history with them. So next time you see an armored truck rolling down the street, take a look at the driver. You never know what they might be planning, or who might be waiting for them at the end of their shift. The Wells Fargo heist of 1983. A crime perfect in its execution, baffling in its aftermath. From the sleepy streets of Connecticut to the revolutionary underground of Puerto Rico to the shores of Cuba, Victor Gerena wrote his own story that night. A story with no final chapter. Was it worth it? Only one man knows, and he isn't talking. Thanks for tracking this case with us. If you want more uncovered history from the 80s and beyond, make sure to like and subscribe. We dig into the forgotten files so you don't have to. Let us know below. Do you think the rest of that $7 million is still buried somewhere, or is it gone for good? Stay curious, and I'll catch you on the next deep dive.